What is up, guys? Today we are out here in my buddy Rich's 2012 Subaru Impreza WRX wagon. Woo! Makes a little bit of noise. This car is a mildly tuned WRX. He has bolt-on modifications including bigger intercooler piping, full exhaust from the turbo manifold back, an external wastegate as you've probably heard. It's using the factory turbocharger, boosting 20 pounds.
Yes.
And do we have dyno numbers? I forgot to ask that.
It's low threes.
So power level somewhere in the low 300 at the wheels. And it feels like it's right about there. So I've always been a fan of the WRX hatches. They always kind of remind me like a really rally-esque inspired with their muscular, bulgy fenders and everything else. And this car looks really great in the pearl white color that it is. Behind the wheel here, we got a car in front of us already. So we'll talk a little bit about the interior. The overall layout of the dash and the seating position is quite nice. I feel like I don't sit too high, I don't sit too low. I like the amber face gauges. It's a little bit, the exhaust setup on this is a little bit noisy, but with the windows up, it's not terribly bad. It doesn't make you want to put a bullet in your brain. Steering feel, it's a little bit light. Do you know if this is electric or hydraulic? We don't know what it is. I would say it almost feels like a modern electric rack, but I can't confirm that offhand. But either way, it's not the most feedback providing rack, but it still provides adequate feedback. Gear shift is short and crisp, easy to get into the gates. Throttle response for a turbocharged car is pretty good. There's not much delay from touching the gas. I know this is an electronic throttle too, so Subaru did a pretty good job of tuning it. A lot of modern electronic throttles I feel like are a little bit too laggy from the time you actually start to tip in on the throttle versus when it actually translates to the throttle body opening for the motor. And I think I'm gonna do an overtake here. Woo! Get moving a little bit. It's a nice open road, smooth. This car is rolling on a set of Rotor Grids, 18 by 8.5 with 245/40 square tire setup. Woo! Open wastegate, scaring all the little forest creatures away. Woo! Sorry if I'm not talking too much. Just trying to concentrate a little bit here. Heavy braking. Using the brakes to kind of get the car to nose in a little bit. The overall handling balance, it's got a tendency to push at corner entry and mid-corner. Lifting off of the gas and using the brakes to get the nose to tuck in is the way you have to drive this car, like most all-wheel drive cars. Woo! All right, it's a heavy braking zone here. Little bit of exit over there on power in third gear, and relax. It's an interesting ride, man.
Yeah.
It moves pretty good, you know. Like I would say this is at least STI power level, stock STI. Moves out pretty good, and you know, these are Hankook Ventus Evo V12s, and I think like the grip level for the weight of this car and the power level that it's making is actually a pretty good match. Like you have sufficient grip to like go fast and move out of the way, but you can still exploit the car. So I was able to reach the limits, feel heroic, and like kind of play with the balance of the car. Like I said, it's a little bit understeery going into mid-corner and at corner entry, but lifting off the gas, using the brakes and trail braking a little bit, I can kind of get the car rotating, and then after applying throttle at corner exit. But yeah, it's a fun little car. It might be a little bit too loud for my likings, but it's definitely, there's definitely theater surrounding this. It's certainly an exciting ride. So while we have a moment to breathe here, I'm going to talk about the suspension a little bit now that I kind of got the feel a little bit. These are ISC coilovers.
Yes.
And you're running them a little bit lower. It's got a very aggressive height. Car feels actually very good. I think these are the valving for this, and the spring rate is a good match for these tires. All the motions are well controlled. It's keeping the contact patch on the ground. Over smoother roads like this, they're not jarring by any means. They're relatively tame and feel nice. So I think they're a good match for the car. We're going to spin around here. So we will do, after these guys go, we'll go through the gears. I'll do the cheater rolling start. I'm not going to say how fast you're going, but it may have been over triple digits there on this farmy road. But sufficient power to definitely have fun. Being a WRX, it tips the scale as well. This is probably around 3,300 pounds in that vicinity. So power output and torque is sufficient for the chassis. It doesn't feel crazy or out of control, but it doesn't feel underpowered in the least. The wastegate noise is interesting. I see, like, once I get in the fourth gear, it's just like straight open, but I can hear it fluctuating in gears 1 through 3. Going back through this little section here. Man, it's so funny, like how much the volume just changes from off to on. So you can feel here a little bit of push. I'm on the brakes, so I'm using the brakes here to tuck in. Car wants to travel wide. That little bit of push at entry there. I love that. It's growling. It's just yelling at all the little forest creatures saying, don't run out in front of me. I don't want to kill you. One thing I love about rides like this is that you can go fast and you can just kind of relax. You don't have to like stall out at the wheel or worry about the car doing anything stupid, because it's got sufficient traction from the all-wheel drive, and because it's got a little bit of an understeer bias to it. Like, it's just stable, and it allows you to relax a little bit behind the wheel, so that's always a nice thing. This has got flat shift, right?
Yes.
Should I try doing a flat shift?
Feel free to use it. Go through the gears.
While we're waiting for this convertible Mustang in front of us. All right, so clutch only,
Yep.
but no lifting off the gas.
Yep. Keep it pinned.
Okay. Give him a little bit of room here. Here we go, flat shift. I've never used this before. Wow, look at that. Huh. That definitely saves you some time, huh? It works well. I was afraid it was going to kind of be abrupt, but it really, it's like, it's just almost intuitive, like it's expecting it and knows that you're going to do it. Interesting. Pretty neat, these modern cars. So while we're in traffic here, we're going to take a little break and we'll be back shortly. Should go buy that mannequin. Do you see the fucking video that I did for the my buddy's sport cross? Where I dressed up like a chick? I was wearing a wig and shit. All right, and we are back. So I'm gonna put this car through its paces one more time through my little favorite section of road up here. Hopefully get a nice clearing. Here comes the bumps. It soaks them up. Had the pedal through the floor for that whole bumpy section there. Woo! Oh yeah, we're yawing around. Man, it's hot out today, and having the windows up certainly doesn't help, but what an entertaining little ride this is. So I really feel like these tires are a great match for this car. The Ventus V12s, as you saw there, I was able to carry plenty of speed through those sections, but the car doesn't get very out of control. It's exploitable with the amount of grip that it has. And when you have to dial it back a little bit to keep in your lane and everything, like it's just very easy to regain control of the car. Everything works pretty well, man. Like this is a fucking, I feel like almost like Ken Block ripping around there. But yeah, this is a nice setup. Very fun and very entertaining car. I bet you this thing in the snow, a little bit of slip at all four wheels would be a riot. Absolute riot. Brakes feel good.
Good.
Yeah, no, they feel good. Good feedback, good modulation. Car was yawing more there.
Yeah.
So guys, I think that's just about it for this one. Thank you very much for tuning in. Rich, thank you very much for bringing me the car. It's awesome. Woo! Make some nice noises there. All right guys, that's it for this one. Till next time, done. I punched your light. The Miata group days, which is 140 for the day.